Hello students, welcome in your computer class, chapter 5, Introduction to M-Commerce, video 4. I welcome you in e-learning again. Okay children, shall we start today's session? Fine. So children, today we are going to learn legal issues in M-Commerce and different payment methods. Students, we start with legal issues in M-Commerce. Okay. E-commerce as well as M-commerce presents a world of opportunity for doing businesses, reaching global markets and providing facilities of online purchasing. It provides opportunities to improve the business process. However, just as any new business has some issues and risks, so does e-commerce and M-commerce. जिस तरह से ई-कॉमर्स और एम-कॉमर्स का मार्केट वर्ल्ड वाइड है चिल्ड्रन, और अगर हम ट्रेडिशनल मार्केट में भी अपना कोई नया बिजनेस या वेंचर शुरू करते हैं तो देयर आर सो मेनी रिस्क along with benefits, rest other business benefits. So same in legal, there are some risk in m-commerce and e-commerce also. So both of these face or pose many legal challenges as it is the activity performed on global internet without national boundaries. Okay, so every nation has its own rules and regulations. हर एक देश के कंट्री के अपने कुछ नियम कायदे होते हैं बिजनेस को लेकर. सो द मेजर चैलेंजेस आर रिलेटेड टू द इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, copyrights, privacy, and many times the disputes among the parties. The legal framework is necessary to resolve these issues. Many countries have already established or set their legal frameworks for electronic commerce. Understood children? Children, Indian government has also established IT laws, that is information technology laws under the IT Act. So, enforcement of legal rules and regulation provide confidence to the customers that their personal information remains secret on internet and will not be used. So, if it is misused, responsible party can be punished. So this type of security is must in e-commerce and m-commerce as customer provides their sensitive information like credit card details, and companies making online businesses are getting legal support in case of misuse of their logos or any copyright materials like digital contents. Any dispute between two parties can be resolved under these laws. So did you get children? Now we go to securing intellectual property. In this, we are having, it includes books, softwares, music, video, copyright, trademarks, and web pages. Some of them are explained here. So first we go to copyright. Copyright provides the author with a tool to protect his or her original work from being used or taken by others without permission. It is applicable to books, software programs, and articles. Copyright laws protects intellectual property in its various different forms and cannot be used freely. It is difficult to protect intellectual property in e-commerce or m-commerce also, children. For example, if one buys any software, one has the right to use it and not the right to distribute it. Understood children? The distribution rights are with the copyright holder. Okay. Also, most of the web pages are protected by copyrights. In that case, copying content from that website also violates the copyright law. Understood children? Children, next we go to trademark. Trademark is a specific logo, mark, symbol, word or design, phrase or an image which is used by an individual or a company to distinguish a product or service from that of others in the market. A trademark may be designed by following symbol TM, SM, R. Okay children? Now we go to domain name disputes. domain name you can understand, children. Here in image it is given .gov, .net, .edu, .com or .info, com, edu, gov or info. Okay, so children, the competition over domain name is legal issue. Earlier, the domain names were given on the first come first basis. Thus, people would register domain names and that were not in use but would be of importance. Later on, such domain names were sold to concerned company at a very high prices. This is known as a cyber squatting. Another problem is name changing, where some registers purposely misspelled variation of well-known domain names. This can be mislead the customers or consumers who generally make typographical error, okay, while entering a URL or website. Got it, children? Next we go to intellectual property. Students, here in image you can see intellectual property like copyright, property right, license, registers, patent. Okay. Now let's understand. Intellectual property covers any original idea, design, discovery, inventions and creative world produced by an individual or a group. It wasn't a big deal to protect IP or intellectual property in past earlier times. However, with information more accessible and easier to distribute today due to technology and safeguarding your creations and works from infringers, copycats and thieves has become vital to any business. So it is important to take care of the intellectual property on web. IP protection is not just necessary to ensure that your innovations won't be copied or stolen. It establishes an incentive to whatsoever you create can proliferate and benefit more people without violating your rights. Here are 5 different ways to protect your intellectual property. Okay, let's see. Children, out of them, copyright, trademark and domain name we have seen earlier. Now we will see steganography. Okay, so steganography is a practice of concealing a file or hiding a file, message, image or video within another file, message, image or video. The word steganography comes from Greek steganographia, which combines the word steganos meaning covered or concealed and graphia means writing. So it is the process of hiding information within any other information. So information will be protected. Okay, children. Here it is given in image, steganography, hiding text, hiding video, hiding in image and hiding in sound file. Got it, children? Next we go to digital watermark. Digital watermark is the act of hiding a message related to a digital signal, that is an image, song or video within the signal itself. It is a concept closely related to steganography in that they both hide a message inside a digital signal. Understood, children? However, what separates them in their goal? It allows also hiding information in totally invisible manner. Earlier, artists used to creatively sign their paintings with a brush to claim copyright, but it is the digital world now. So artists can watermark their work by hiding their names within their paintings or within their image. Watermarking has been around for several countries in form of watermarks found initially in plain paper and subsequently in paper bills. However, the field of digital watermarking was only developed during the last 15 years and it is now being used for many different applications. You must have seen in our currency notes the watermark is there. Okay, children, got it? Hope you understood. Next we go to a payment gateway in e-commerce or m-commerce. Okay, children. Now, payment gateway in e-commerce is a service that empowers all your credit card transactions through your credit card provider. A payment gateway service is a straightforward programming application. It is fundamentally a channel between an e-commerce site and bank that supports or decays a client's credit card payment through the payment gateway providers. Okay, eventually, a payment gateway is the last advance of the online sales process on an e-commerce site. Without it, you cannot have the option to charge your clients what they purchase things from your website. Okay, now we see children payment in e-commerce or m-commerce. Here in image you can see the different payment options. Payment is one of the most important aspect of e-commerce as well as m-commerce. In traditional payment method, one does the payment using cash, check or credit card. Electronic payment systems are becoming more important to the online businesses processes, and as companies are looking for different ways to serve the customer faster and at the low cost children. Okay, so electronic payment is a financial exchange that takes place online between the buyer and the seller. So here are the various payment options you can see children. Let's go to first debit card. But let's say children, m-commerce can be categorized by function, either mobile shopping, mobile banking or mobile payments. Mobile shopping allows for customer to purchase a product from mobile device using an application such as Amazon. As over a web application, mobile payments enables user to buy products in person using a mobile device. M-commerce, which includes mobile payments, money transfer, mobile banking, purchase or mobile web applications and financial services. Most merchants who sell on internet do not differentiate between e-commerce and m-commerce. Okay, so let's see the debit card now. A debit card is a plastic payment card that can be used instead of cash when making purchases. Here in image you can see children, and you must have seen with your parents. So it is similar to credit card, but unlike a credit card, the money is immediately transferred directly from the cardholder's bank account when performing any transaction. Okay. A small plastic card issued by a bank, building society, etc., allowing the holder to purchase goods or services on credit. Okay, children. Now go to charge card. Charge card is that a card enables the card holder to make purchase. As compared to credit card, it has a credit card limit, but the charge card does not have any limit or spending limit. The customer has to pay the total amount used at the end of the billing period to the company that has issued the card. If the total amount is not paid back, the customer has to pay the late fees. Okay, so GTCCP image is showing over here. Government Travel Charge Card Program. Got it? It's an example of charge card. Okay, children. Now go to net banking. All you are aware with this. Net banking, also known as online banking on internet banking, is an electronic payment system. It allows you to conduct many different types of transactions through the internet from the comfort of your home. Okay. Now we see electronic funds transfer. It's a system of transferring money from one account or one bank account directly to another's without any paper money changing hands. One of the most widely used EFT program is direct deposit, through which payroll is deposited straight into an employee's bank account. Understood, children? So, electronic fund transfer, the automatic transfer of funds to and from a person's bank accounts electronically. Direct deposit means with authorization, your paycheck is deposited directly into your checking and or saving accounts each payday. Electronic bill payments, again, with authorization, the bank will electronic pay certain bills for your each month which you ask for. Got it, children? Students, next we go to e-wallet. It's a type of electronic card which is used for transactions made online through computer or a smartphone. Its utility is same as a credit or debit card, and e-wallet needs to be linked with the individual's bank account to make payments. An e-wallet is protected with a password. Many a times you must have used Paytm or Google Pay, okay children, or PayPal. So these are the different kinds of e-wallet you can see in image. Next is RuPay. The term RuPay is coined from two terms or two words, rupee and payment. It is a new payment mechanism launched by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. The use of RuPay is similar to use of credit or debit cards. On 26 March 2012, it was introduced. It was created to fulfill the Reserve Bank of India vision to payments. RuPay facilitates electronic payment at all Indian banks and financial institutions. Got it, children? Here an image of RuPay debit card is shown on screen. Okay. So children, here our this chapter 5 gets end. I just want to say again, please while watching video, keep your book open. It will make you understand the contents more clearly. Okay children, thank you for watching my presentation. Thank you. Take care of yourself. God bless you.